In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Apple Pages to create an editable workbook, cheat sheet, toolkit, and more for your audience to be used as bonus material in your course or as a lead magnet to grow your audience. I'm going to show you some basic features like creating styles, checklists, making tables, and show you how to make some other editable elements that will allow you to have a workbook in no time. Now, the cool thing about Pages is that if you've ever used Keynote, this is really similar, but there is one very important thing you must do when setting up the document before you even get started designing, and that is to make sure the document is set up correctly. So I'm going to show you right now. You're going to go into File and New, or when it opens, it will come up with this page right here. Let's move this little colors thing out of the way. You're going to just choose the blank template because you're creating your own. You don't need a template. And what you're going to do is you're going to go into Document in the top right corner and uncheck Document Body. This means that now wherever you want to put images or shapes, there are no margins that are going to override it. It is going to be pretty much a blank template, blank page that you can do whatever you want with. So you want to just hit convert and you'll be good to go. The next thing I want to show you is how you can create a shape that you can keep reusing every single time. I'm just going to change back over into format, and then I'm going to click on this shape button. Pages pre-populates shapes and certain colors already for you, which is great, but probably those colors do not match your brand, so you don't really need to save them. So what we'll do is we'll use the square for example. It will pull up the style panel here. What you're going to do is you're going to change the fill to be a color fill, or it could be a gradient, or as you can see, or an image if you want it to be. But let's just do color for basic purposes. You're going to click on this circle right here with the color wheel, and it's going to pull up your color palette. Usually it will pull up this one first. And here you can play around, pick the different colors, darken it, lighten it, brighten it up. Or you can go into the second option and see where it says hex color, and you can add in a very specific hex color that you want to use that's related to your brand, and it will change it and then change right here. So let's just say I want to use this purple. I'm okay with it. And let's say this purple is something I'm going to be using all the time. What I'm going to do is see how I can select this little square box right here next to the eyedropper. And now I clicked it and I pulled it to the right. And now I'm dragging it all over. I want to use that. I want to save that color so I can use it for text or for other shapes. So what I'm going to do is just pull it into this box right here and let go. And now I can use that whenever I want. As you can see, I have a bunch like this yellow, this blue, all the colors I use a lot are right in here. So let's say I want this purple. Click it, we're good to go. The next thing is take away the drop shadow. Doesn't look that great. For just this plain blank square, you'll click no shadow. If you do want a drop shadow, you can, make it more blurry, change the offset, which is the direction that it's going to lay in. You can change the opacity, make it really dark or really faded. Well, make it 0, it won't be there, but, as you can see, it changes. But for this purpose, we're going to say no. And what I want to do is, this is a shape I know I'm going to be using all the time. So all you need to do is click Style, click Plus, and now the shape is here. So let's say I want to create a new shape, and I was like, oh, no, I want another purple square without a shadow. Click it, but I want a different color. Go into your color choice here. You want it to be this blue. It's done. It's changed, and you're ready to go. Now I'm going to go out of this document and into the template I've created. As you can see here, I've set my styles for this line right here, and for this triangle here, the color's ready to go, and another lighter square. So the next thing I want to talk about is how you're going to align elements to one side. Oops, not this one. Okay, here. It's really simple, and it helps just to create a very clean document. So in this section page, I have the two graphic elements, something that can be a title, a place where someone can add their subtitle. Let's say made the elements, they're all over the board. Doesn't look that great, but I want them to all be aligned in the center. So go ahead and just take your mouse, hold down the the left key, select them all, click Arrange. And then you're going to go to Align and Center, and everything gets moved into the center document. Now, it's still off-center from the page, but these are all aligned along the center. So then you just need to select them all and drag it till the yellow line appears, and that means it's centered. The yellow line right there was the width center, and the other one was the length, or the height center, which was the yellow line that was right here. Easy. Now, one thing that's kind of annoying that Pages does is that when you add a new element, be it a text box, a shape, it automatically adds text wrap around the element. Now, that doesn't really help us when we're trying to design stuff and align things perfectly. So what you're going to need to do is, let's say we want a new text box right down here. You're going to click Text. And as you see, once I clicked it, this entire question 3 and the statement and answer is gone. So if I just grab it and drag it, you can see it comes back. So in order to get rid of it, you're going to go into Arrange again and see how it says Text Wrap Automatic. Click on that, and you're just going to make it None. And that way now, if you go move this, you can see the text stays right where I placed it in the original document. We'll just drag, and then once you're ready, you just drag your text over, go into text, format it into the font that you want. We want Railway. Sure 11s looks great, but I don't want black. Change it, make it italics, etc. And that's all you need to do. Super easy. Now, I'm going to show you how to add page numbers to your document. Let's go back to that blank document over here. And as you can see right here, if I scroll down, an automatic footer pops up. So you can see, oh, perfect. It allows you to select a page number. You can choose the different type of style of page number that you want. That one looks good to me. If you want, although I don't like the way it's designed, it's not the brand font I use, it's not the color I want, just select it. And over here in this text panel, you can change your fonts to be Railway. You can reduce the size, make it really light, just so it's like barely there. You have more options here with either in layout or more. At this point, I just want a singular page number, so I don't really have to do anything here, but super easy. And then when you want to add a new page, you'll just go to Insert and Page, and you'll see that the next page has the footer with page number 2. Okay, so back to this document. I want to quick walk you through creating an image. See how great this image looks. It looks like it's nice and sized. Now, if I double click on the image, I guess you can't see. You can kind of see right here that the image is definitely bigger than what that box shows. So I'm going to just show you how that you can edit it and resize it. So going back to this one document, let's delete our shapes. We don't need those right now. Make this document a little bit bigger so you can see the gray space. Let's see. I want to add a document to this. So I'm just going to go into my folder, grab this image. Looks great. All right. So you can see, it comes in as a smaller size. I want it to be all along the edges of the document. So you click on it, grab a triangle, and pull it this way. As you can see, it scales it proportionally, which is great, so you don't have to hold the shift key or anything. It'll always be a proportional image, but it's just really big. As you can see, it takes up half of the page, and I don't want that on my image. Let's say I only want it to be a small portion that's like half the size. So what you're going to do is double click the image, and this box is going to appear. You'll see it now has black squares and a dotted line around the edges. You can use this adjuster here to make the image zoom in or zoom out in case you want a very specific portion of the image. And let's say, I like it's super zoomed in, but I don't want just the frame. I want this gold flower. What you're going to do, see a little hand? You're going to take it, click your mouse, and drag it over. And this way you can adjust the view of the entire image that shows up in the screen. Let's say I want that. Let's just click off. And now, let's hit done. And now you can see I've edited the entire image, but you can't see it anywhere else in the document, which is really great. This is a good little a great little tip that allows you to have more control. But one thing, as I mentioned before, I want to make it half the size. So you'll go ahead and you'll double click. You'll grab one of the triangles and drag it up. And then let's say I only want it to be this big. And now click off. Oops, let's hit done. And there you go. But if I want to make this edit the image without double clicking and grabbing on the white, it just scales it proportionally. So in order to edit the image individually, you need to make sure you've double clicked and are inside this box right here. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about grouping elements. So we're going to go back into this document, right here, back to this page again. See how all of these images are individuals? They each have their own separate text box. Well, I want them to be grouped together, so if something gets moved, they all move as one object versus 4 separate objects, like that. So what you're going to do is select them all again, and then you're going to go back into Arrange, and all you're going to do is hit Group. And now you can see that around all of this, there's one big blue line. You can move it, and they all move together. Now, let's talk about adding text in a table. So we have that down here at the bottom, right here. What you're going to do, see, this is the final table that we're going to create. I'm just going to show you how to create one in the blank document that we have. Actually, I'll just create a new page. So I'm just going to say Insert Page. Here you go. It comes up completely blank, minus the page number. So in order to move things onto similar elements from one page to another, all you need to do is just select them, hit copy and paste them, scroll to the next document and hit paste. Another great thing about Pages is it pastes everything exactly in the space that it was, same space as it was pasted from before. So it really makes it easier. Alright, so now you're going to want to make a table. You're going to click the table button. This table looks fine because we're going to edit it anyway. So you want to drag it up here. You want to make it bigger, but whoa, you need to add more rows. All you need to do is click this little equal sign at the bottom, and it'll bring up this page counter. Let's say we want 10 rows. Enter. Oh, and now look how wide it is. It's because it's dragged all the way down. So we're just going to take this. We're going to drag it to here. Now the 10 rows fit. I say I want more. Just grab that number, pull it up to resize. And it's easy. You want it to be a little bit wider. You can drag it all the way out to the edge. You can edit by clicking on the, no, not that. We want it, like if you want to edit a certain row or column, just make sure you're in the ABC or the 1, 2, 3 side. Have this mouse come up and just pull it to the one side or pull it really wide. For this purpose, we'll just go like this. I don't really think I need 3 columns, so just select it along the top and delete. Oh, I guess, sorry, you have to just click delete, or you can go to here and reduce the amount of columns that you have. And let's say I only want 1, it's too big, drag it over. Great. Now, it looks a little off center, so I'm just gonna hold and drag and center it in the middle of the document. It's a little off. There we go. Now I want to change my colors because this doesn't look on brand like this table. This table is really on brand. So what you can do is click into this center top. You're going to select the rows by holding Shift and clicking. And then you're just going to go into Table. Oh, actually, excuse me. You're going to go into Cell, and here, Table, Cell. And this is where you're going to edit the color. You can see it's that ugly gray. I don't want it to be that gray. I want it to be that purple that, let's say, we picked before when we were playing with the shapes. And I select it, and it automatically changes. Looks great. Say I want it to be narrower. Just drag up the top. Now I want this whole column to be a different color. So I'm going to just click. Oh. Now you need to make sure you go back to click Cell and re-click again on this circle. Every time you change items that you're working with, it resets. So you just need to go back and make sure that this is highlighted blue. Click orange, and now everything's orange. So yeah, it did take away the blue, but you can just click that single cell right there, click the circle, and make it purple again. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just individually click each cell in the table. It takes a little bit longer, but it works, and make it let's make all of those things. Oh, forgot to click. Oh, see, these are no fill. So what you're going to do is make a color, and we're going to just make it blue. But I feel like that blue is really bold because I want to put text behind it, wouldn't you? So the next thing you'll do is go into, oh, where is it? We're going to change the opacity if I can find it. Okay, so you can change the opacity right in the color palette here. So all you're going to need to do is where it says opacity in the second tab, drag it down. Oh, right. I think like 13 looks really good. It's really pale, but you can tell that there's a color. Say I want to do the same thing with the orange. Click on the one cell, hold shift, click on the last one, selects them all. Make sure your color is selected. You'll know it's selected, especially if you're changing a different color, because this button right here will change to correspond with this color. Reduce it. 17 looks good. Hit X, and you're good to go. Now the next thing that you want to do is format the text that is going to go in here if you want people to write, or if you want to write into it. So select both cells again, and instead now we're going to be clicking on the text up here in the. So what you'll do is you'll just go in, change your font to be the font that you want, semi-bold 10. Okay, that seems good enough. Wrap text in cell, yes, because if it goes onto 2 lines, it'll stay within the box versus just going into one long line. Now you can see here is where I want. I'm going to just do text goes here. And it's railway. It's semi-bold. It's the size I want. But you know what? I don't want it left aligned. I want it to be centered. So all you need to do is just click on the alignment. You can make it center within those cell itself, which looks really nice. In black it shows up. Now, so let's say you want this to be editable. You hand out to your students, you're giving them the pages file, and you want them to be able to write inside of it, which is awesome. So let's say they're in the document, they've gotten it, now they're writing their answer here. Let's just say this is my answer. Period. As you can see, this is a different font from up here. You can try to format it. Depends too, like this is all railway font that I'm using in these. If you don't have railway on your computer, this won't show up as railway. Pages will automatically substitute a new font. So either use the font that everybody has, like an Arial, Helvetica, Times New Roman. Not really the best fonts or the most exciting fonts, but it's one font that everybody has. Or you can give them the font or tell them where to download it if you got it for free. So what you're going to, now on that, let's format this font just to match for the purposes of all one brand. I'm going to go into change it again. Let's just make it railway. I'm going to reduce it so it's a little bit lighter. And now you can see it's answered. But look how close this text is to the edge of the box. I don't really like it. So I'm going to go back into the cell. I'm going to do it centered. The next thing I'm going to do is go into layout. In text set indent, as you can see, it's 4. Now if we bump this up to, let's say 10, look how much the text pops in. So the text set indent means it's how much further away the text is from the edge of the box. I like 10. I think it looks great. It just makes it look a little bit neater and not right along the edges. Okay, I have 2 more little things to go over with you. One is just a little keyboard command that makes everything a lot easier. See how right here I have this yellow line, and I want to add it here. Normally when Pages creates a document, as you can see in this one, there's no rulers, right? Like I want to make either put in a ruler on my document, or I want to make sure I put something on inch from the left. So what you're going to just do is Command R at the same time, and now the ruler appears. So great. And if you want to add a ruler, just click into the whatever side or top or the left side that you want to use. See how the mouse changed to that, and then just drag. The yellow line appears, and now you have your ruler. It allows you to adjust. It also tells you how far in how far to the right you're pulling it in. Oh, okay, I want it there. We're at 2 inches, 1 inches. One more thing to talk about is how you can actually make this editable. Since it's Pages, it's just like Word. Every text that you put in is going to be editable. And especially, as I said before, if you're giving out the document as is, you can make it completely editable. Here's by just creating a new text box, telling your students that this is where they should type in their answers, and all they need to do is be able to click into the box, and then they will be able to add their own answers. Oops. See, voila, and they'll just keep typing, and now you have a very easy editable document. If you want to do something with a shape in the background, all you need to do is create a shape from your shape panel, style it to the colors and size that you want it to be, reduce the opacity on it by just clicking into the color box and just bringing it down, and then I added a separate text box on top. This way it just allows you to create specific margins and style the text as you want it to be. I guess one quick last thing I'm going to go over is how to just create a checklist right here. It's really easy. All you need to do is just click on shape, take off, go back into arrange, take off the text wrap. Now, as you can see, it doesn't delete anything. You're going to go into style. Let's get rid of this. And instead of fill, you're going to take out the fill, say no fill. You're going to do a line, and now it has a line. You can pick different styles of lines. You can change the thickness. You can change the color, and then just resize it to be however you want. And now, well, the dots look a little funny. It looks like a little circle versus a square, but now you have your square, and then just align them, and there you have a checkbox. This, although won't be editable, is to be a check, but it gives somebody the idea if they print this out, they can go ahead and check it with a pen. You can do the same thing with lists if you want them to have a list or a blank page with answers. You can do section titles and section headers right here. And just to create, it's always good to have an introduction to your workbook so your people remember where they got it, what the purpose is, and just you saying thanks for downloading this, thanks for joining my course, and welcome. So this is what you should use right after the cover page. Just welcome them, add some text, super easy, really simple and short, and then get right into the good meatiness of your workbook. So the last step I want to show you is a little bit more advanced and definitely depends on if you have Adobe Acrobat, but you can also save this as a PDF and make it editable. It's a bit of a cumbersome process, but it is possible. So what you'll just do is file, export to PDF. Now you can see right here it has all these tools that you can use on the right hand side: create PDF, edit, export, fill and sign, prepare form. This is where you're going to use this is the tool that you're going to use to make it editable. So all you have to do is just, first let's click into this. You'll select your document, you hit start, converts it so it's editable and into a form. And what you'll have to do is see here where you have your text box. This is where if this is how you want to make it editable versus sending just a Pages document, make sure that you use like squares here or blank text here so you can make it into an editable field. I'm just going to show you how to do it with that right there. What you'll have to do is just click here, click text box, and it'll come up with a new shape. Just drag it to be however big you want, and then you can name it so you know what's going on. All properties, I would double click on it to get it to open. And this is where there's a few things you're going to want to edit. So appearance. Okay, well, there we go. I don't know why that wasn't working. So you're going to form field visible. Leave it. This works. You go into appearance. Here you're going to change the font size. You can make it auto or you can make it really small. You pick your color. You pick your font. So the next thing you're going to go into is going to be options, and you're going to just pick the alignment of the text, left, center, right, whatever. Check spelling, sure, it's always great to have that, but make sure you select multi-line and scroll long text. This way it once again creates a stacked box so your text reads across and down versus in one long line, because we don't want that. That's a lot harder to read. Okay, you just hit close. The annoying thing with this is you cannot copy and paste. If you copy and paste the text fields, and then once you save this PDF, it will, if you type you give it to your audience, they open it, and they're starting to type in their answers. If you copy and pasted these text boxes, if you type your answer here and the same text box is copy and pasted here, the same answer will populate down here, which is really annoying and defeats the whole purpose of making it editable. So you need to go in one by one, make your things editable, create the text boxes. It does take a lot of time and is sometimes really finicky, but it also works too.